Hey everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Rachel Takeman and I'm trying to better myself in 2020 by conquering a new goal every month and tracking it all through YouTube videos. Good morning everybody, it's Sunday, March 1st, and I'm so excited that this video is coming out on March 1st. March 1st is kind of a holiday for me and my family because March 1st is the day that my Aunt Kathy was born. My Aunt Kathy had Down syndrome and unfortunately she passed away several years ago, but we remember her life and her birthday and we celebrate every year by going to Dunkin' Donuts, which was her favorite place to just get a coffee and a donut. And so every year we get a coffee and a donut, so I have my coffee and my donut here, and I just wanted to share why we celebrate this. If you guys want to remember Aunt Kathy or celebrate, go ahead and get a coffee and a donut today. Thank you so much for tuning in to another video. This week is the last week of February, so it's my last week of my February goal, which is daily exercise. This month I told you guys about how my back pain has set me back in my exercise goal and how even though I haven't gone to the gym perfectly every single day, I'm still super proud of my accomplishment of how many times I have gone to the gym. This month has been all about refocusing on my fitness and getting to the gym as much as possible to create healthy habits for the future. And I definitely have done that. If you haven't seen my other February videos, click the link in the corner of this screen. This week I was still kind of going easy on my back during my exercises. I think what happened last week is that I probably lifted something, maybe a weight at the gym, but maybe just something random at work or at home, and I used my back to lift instead of my legs, which could have strained my back and brought on the pain. So everything I've been doing at the gym since, I've been very careful to make sure I have good form, and I've been paying close attention to my body and not doing anything that's more painful. So last week, the chiropractor gave me a few exercises to do every day, which I am doing, but I'm also still going to the gym as much as possible. But Thursday, I actually didn't go to the gym. I ended up hanging out with friends for most of the night, well after the gym was closed. And again, my fitness goals will not come at the expense of personal relationships. On Friday, I went back to the chiropractor. They're starting to get to know what I need for treatment, so I felt a lot better after this session, and I got some more exercises to do every day. I went to the chiropractor straight from work, and then after that went straight to the gym. Again, it's so much easier for me to get to the gym if I go straight there instead of going home first. On Saturday, I went to the gym again, and just like Friday, I did a pretty easy workout on the elliptical. I went pretty hard on Wednesday night with my legs, and I was still sore in my calves days later. So I just did 2 easy workouts back to back. On Sunday, I was planning to spend some time doing a good arms workout, but I was running out of time before the gym closed, so I had to do a really short workout. This is another reason, on top of all the other reasons I told you in my last video, of why Planet Fitness is going to be a better fit for me. Planet Fitness is open 24/7, which is huge because I like to work out at night. It's not too hard for me to get in and out of the gym by 10 p.m. on weeknights, but when the gym closes at 8 p.m. on weekends, it's a struggle. Every weekend, I've either missed a day because of this or I've had to do a rushed workout like this. On Monday night, I didn't go to the gym again because I was babysitting my coworker's daughter all night. Now, this is something I knew I'd be doing in advance, so at the beginning of this month, I was a little stressed about how I was going to get to the gym when I wouldn't get home until super late. I originally thought that I'd planned to get up really early and hit one of those 5 a.m. spin classes before work. Thank God I changed my mind on that one. That would have made Monday an even longer day, so it definitely would not have been the right time to try a super early class. But at this point in the month, I have learned to give myself grace when I'm trying to do my goals, and it's so much better because of that. On Tuesday, I went straight to the gym after work, but I was exhausted, guys. I didn't get to bed until after 2 a.m. on Monday night, and I got up early for work in the morning. So Tuesday, I just sat in the sauna and sweated out for 20 minutes and then went home to go to sleep. But I was really eager to get back in the gym on Wednesday and get a good workout in. I wanted to on Tuesday, but I just couldn't do it. On Wednesday morning, I went back to the chiropractor again. My back is definitely getting better. I haven't had that sharp pain in my back for about a week, so it's just been the dull pain that I usually deal with, just a little worse than normal. The chiropractor is starting to get into a routine with me of what kind of therapies work best. I'm hoping I'll just have to go a couple more times for pain relief and then be able to continue doing home exercises to strengthen that area. On Wednesday night, I did a good workout on the elliptical after work while I was watching a show. On Thursday night, I went to the gym with my friends. My friends Haley, Jess, and Victoria came with me to the gym for my first workout at Planet Fitness, and it was so much fun. Hey guys, it's Thursday and we just finished up at the gym. We're all at Planet Fitness today, and what did we do today, guys?
We did some cardio.
Yes, elliptical.
Starting out with the art trainer.
30 minutes. That's a new record for me.
We got yelled at for being too loud.
Yeah.
Yes.
Family, you can't laugh here.
Abs, lots of abs.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Ribs. We have 6 packs now.
Weightlifting.
Playing on
Yeah.
a big blow.
Yoga balls.
Oh, sure.
30-minute circuit.
I
And then
ran on the treadmill for like a solid 2 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
like 5 minutes on the treadmill. And that's it.
It was
So,
fun.
thanks to my workout buddies.
Woo!
We spent over 2 hours there, and it went by so fast because we just enjoy each other's company. Now that I'm a Black Card member of Planet Fitness, we for sure will be doing this often. On Friday, I went back to the chiropractor again. I feel like I haven't really improved much in the past 2 sessions. Like I said in my last video, with my chiropractor in Connecticut, she knew exactly what I needed, so anytime I had a flare-up, I could go see her for 2 or 3 sessions and be back to normal. So I'm not sure if this time I just hurt my back a lot more, or if the chiropractic therapies are just not helping as much as they usually do. Like I said, I don't have any of that super sharp pain that I was having last week, which is a huge improvement. So now it's just the dull pain that's worse than my usual pain. But I hope with a few more sessions at the chiropractor, I'll just be able to continue on my own with the exercises and hot pads and everything, because it's getting expensive. After I went to the chiropractor, I went back to LA Fitness for the last time. I decided to quit LA Fitness. I explained my reasons for this in my last video, so if you haven't seen that yet, click the link in the corner of this screen. Basically, I was paying more for LA Fitness but not using all their services, and Planet Fitness worked better for me for a few reasons. The location is better, the hours are better, and I can bring a guest every time. So on Friday, I went to LA Fitness and quit the gym. I expected the process of quitting to be frustrating because they'd probably try to convince you not to quit.
I want to quit the gym. You do realize you won't have access to our new full-service Swedish spa. I want to quit the gym.
But it was frustrating in other ways instead. On Wednesday, when I was at LA Fitness, I tried to quit, but the person working the front desk told me I'd have to come back when the operations manager was working, and she worked Monday through Friday, 9 to 6. So Justin and I went back at 5:30, right after he left work, and we were told that the operations manager works Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. So she was gone for the day, for the weekend, and since it's the end of the month, we would get charged $60 for both our memberships. So that left me with a bad impression of LA Fitness, but I'm excited to begin my journey at Planet Fitness. This month was a tough goal. As you guys know, I optimistically said at the beginning of the month that I'd be going to the gym every single day, and that was so much harder than I expected it would be, and not just because I didn't feel like it or I was too lazy, but because it was more of a time commitment than I realized. Life got in the way sometimes, and I realized that I didn't want to focus on fitness over personal relationships, so going forward, I'm still going to go to the gym as much as possible. But for the next month or so, I'm going to set a new schedule for myself to go 4 times a week instead of trying to go every day. This way, when something comes up and I go out with friends or go home to visit family, I won't feel like I'm failing my goal, but I'll still be pushing myself to try to go almost every day after work. Now that it is the end of February, I'm turning my attention away from physical health. But not completely away though. I'm still continuing my January goal of meal prepping, and I'm going to continue going to the gym as much as I can. But my March goal is going to be focusing on spiritual health by doing some sort of spiritual practice every day. For those of you who don't know my story, my super short testimony is this. I grew up in the Lutheran church and was always super involved in church. I loved church. I was loved by the church. I had the typical come to Jesus moment at a summer camp in high school where I realized that being a Christ follower takes more than just going to church. So I became devoted. I focused on making all my decisions based on what God would have me do and tried to act more like Jesus. I joined a worship band and eventually I decided to go to Christian college. I loved being surrounded by Christians all the time. At first. My high school self thought my relationship with God would be so much easier if I was surrounded by other people who loved and served God. But I felt lost in college, in many ways, but mostly spiritually. And I became a Christian ministries major in college, which honestly just made it even more confusing. I was focusing more time and energy on God than ever before, but I felt more distant than God from ever before. And over time, nothing's really changed, and I've come to realize that my relationship with God now is mostly intellectual. When I was in high school, I didn't know as much about the Bible and the history of Christianity as I do now, and I didn't really know what I believed specifically or the reasons why, but I felt the presence of God. I felt close to God and led by God. It was all emotional. And while I don't believe that a relationship with God should be entirely emotional, I don't think it should be entirely intellectual either. I'm in a place in my faith now where I believe in God. I know what I believe about God. I know what the Bible says and how to interpret it, but I don't think it shows in my life. My relationship with God in college was solely purely academic, and I lost the desire to read the Bible, pray, meditate, or worship outside of any class requirements. And part of this feeling might be a reaction to the church. Where I used to love going and feel loved and accepted there, now all I see in the church, and by the church I mean church in general, not just my specific one, all I see in the church is the hurt it's caused so many people. Lots of people see the church as a place of hurt because of people who value doctrine over people. And I just don't see how Jesus' life, message, and mission fit in at most churches these days. I don't see the real love Jesus taught. And I don't think that Jesus himself would like many of our churches these days. And that's frustrating to me. Sometimes I don't even want to align myself with the church or call myself a Christian because I don't want to align myself with conservative Christian views that so many people assume that all Christians hold. I don't want people in the LGBTQ community to think I hate them, and I don't want people to feel judged about abortion or divorce. The percentage of Christians who condemn abortion, divorce, homosexuality, and other hot topics like that have hurt so many people so much that the word Christian has a negative connotation. And if being a Christian means going to church and hearing about Jesus' radical love and acceptance, but then turning around and denying our LGBTQ neighbors that love and acceptance, or denying women a place in leadership, or condemning those who have had an abortion or gotten a divorce, then I don't want any part of being a Christian. Sorry about the rant, but for this month, I'm focusing on loving God again. Not just knowing God loves me or believing he exists and is good, really, truly loving and being devoted to my faith once again. And I'm not going to do this by going to church more. I'm going to do this on my own, away from that place of hurt, so that I can focus on the true nature of God, and not just the God we want to believe in based on the strict doctrine we want to hold. So how am I going to do this goal? By focusing on God every single day. Most people would probably suggest reading a devotion every morning before I go to work. But if you've seen any of my other videos, you know I don't get up early enough to do that. That's not realistically going to make me love God more. So there's 3 ways I'm going to focus on my spiritual health this month. The first way is Bible reading. I'm focusing on the book of Job this month. But my concern with this part of my goal is that I'll be reading the Bible academically again. I want to read this book not thinking about the hermeneutics or the object lessons that could come from it. I want to read this book for me, for my own spirituality. The second way I'm going to accomplish this goal is through prayer. I used to pray all the time. Just silent prayer, talking to God through my thoughts throughout the day. And I want to bring that back. Prayer is actually one of my favorite things to teach about because there's no one way to do prayer. So I'm going to be experimenting with some different styles of prayer throughout this month as well. And I'm also going to have a list of people that I pray for every day, and I'm going to use some of the prayers I found written by others. But mostly, I'm just focusing on making prayer part of my day again. Just talking to God naturally throughout the day, and not just a set time. And the third way I'm going to focus on God this month is I'm going to meditate on a different Bible verse every week. So I'll be sharing my Bible verse for the week on Sundays in my videos before I actually go through the week. So you guys can meditate on those verses with me if you'd like. This first week's verse is Romans chapter 5 verses 7 through 8, the New International Version, which says, "Very rarely will anyone die for a righteous person. Though for a good person someone might possibly dare to die, but God demonstrates his own love for us in this. While we were still sinners, Christ died for us." I want to focus this week on the marvel of how amazing God's love is. I want to remind myself every single day of how incredible it is that God sent Jesus to die for us. So if you'd like to meditate on this verse with me, feel free. And stay tuned next week for another verse to meditate on. What do you think of my March goal? I'm really excited about digging back into the Word and focusing myself on prayer and meditation again. I've been longing for a closer relationship with God, but I just haven't been prioritizing it. This month will definitely help me do so. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. This week's shout out goes to Victoria. Thank you so much for watching my video and for commenting on Facebook, Victoria, especially because your comment led to an awesome girls' night at the gym. As always, please comment down below if you have any suggestions, stories, or encouragement. If you like this video, press the thumbs up button down below, and if you want to see more videos like this, click the subscribe button below and the notification bell next to it so you don't miss a video and so you can help my channel grow. I've got some different things coming for the next couple weeks, so I'm actually going to skip my weekly emails for the next 2 weeks. Tune in next week to see why. I hope you guys have an awesome week, and I'll see you next week.